Hello, good morning to you. This is Pip Coleman coming in to do the Find Your Soul show. And this morning we are going to continue our conversation about forgiveness, soul forgiveness. And we're going to be looking at the people who've wronged us and see if we can do some forgiveness around that, some letting go and surrendering. And it's the perfect day to be doing this process because it's a full moon. So amazing. So you might like to re-listen to this video tonight under the full moon and do your tapping while you're sitting basking underneath the full moon. Technically, it was at 1:56 this morning that the moon was at its fullest, but today you can still dive into that energy of the full moon and do this process of forgiveness and letting go. So I was reading this gorgeous tapping script. Good morning, Jody. I was reading this gorgeous tapping script from the Tapping Solution, Nick Ortner. And on the tapping script, it has this cute little, I'll show you the picture. It's got a tiny little, can you see that little headstone there? And it says on the headstone, Fred N. Perkins, still waiting for apologies from the following people. And then it has a list of all the people that he's waiting, and he's in his grave. So, and the heading underneath, it says, don't be like Fred. Like, you're going to be waiting a really long time if you're waiting for every single person that has ever done you wrong to apologize. So, I know, I love it, Jody. I thought it was just really cute. So, forgiveness is about, it's easy to intend to forgive, but, we don't want to get into that space of like shoulding all over ourselves and saying, I should do this and I should do that. And it's also important that we don't get stuck in that whole narrative of this person wronged me, and so I'll never forgive them. And, and if I forgive them, it's going to be condoning their behaviour, and it's going to mean that I'm not safe, and that, because it might happen again. If I forgive them, it might happen again, and then I'll feel scared, and that'll hurt me, and all of this narrative that goes on in our heads, and that in itself, like that whole narrative, is equally as damaging as the unforgiveness itself. The thing that hurt you way back whenever it was. Okay, so. You can probably think of someone who, now, you can probably think of a few people who you want to forgive what they did, but maybe you're not 100%. You might be like, I'm not 100%, but maybe I'd like to start forgiving them. Maybe just a little bit. I'm ready a little bit to forgive them, or at least to start letting go of the toxic kind of angry, hurt feelings that you might still be holding on to that are affecting your life. We can't deny that when we're not forgiving somebody, there's something that happens in the belly, right? There's something that churny kind of feeling that happens. It is physically affecting you. Those thoughts of unforgiveness are affecting you, and they're affecting your relationships, and not just your relationships with the relationship with that person that you're not forgiving, but also other people in your life are going to be affected by that too. For example, if it's a family member that you're not forgiving, you might be also not talking to other people in the family who agree with them or agree with you, and there's like this division that's happening. So Tony Robbins once said, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. And I think that's really important, because whether or not that person ever apologizes or ever understands, if their human self never gets it, never listens to your point of view, never takes on anything that you have to say, you can still let this go for yourself. And allow yourself to move forward and allow yourself to have a healthy, balanced space. So this is where tapping is really powerful, because we're not only addressing the conscious thinking, but we're also addressing the deeper subconscious and biological roots of that unforgiveness, okay? So this tapping script is, I refuse to forgive them because of what they did to me, okay? So the first thing I want you to identify is, if you're having trouble forgiving, is get really specific on what happened and what they said, what they did, how they acted, and bring that memory into your mind. So if you need to close your eyes and think about, what happened, just pick one person or one thing, and I'm sure that there'll be something that can come to mind straight away. So how do you feel when you think about that person, that incident, that thing? We're just picking one thing today because I'm sure there's lots of things, and you can always go back and watch this video again, Hey, Michelle, welcome, good morning. So notice how you're feeling, notice what the emotion is and where you feel it in your body when you think about that incident or that person that you would like to start forgiving. Remember, I'm not saying that you're going to forgive them completely today necessarily, but we're going to start the process of letting go and allowing yourself to feel peaceful, okay? So give the intensity of that emotion or that memory a number from 0 to 10, and 10 being the most intense. And you can write it down if you want to, or you can just remember that your number was, 8 or whatever, 7, 9, or 10, whatever it is. Anything over a 5 is definitely worth tapping on. Definitely worth tapping on. If it's under a 5, then tapping will definitely shift it. But if it's over 5, then it's starting to affect you in a significant way. So it's time to do some tapping and bring that intensity of that situation down. Okay. So if you're not familiar with the tapping process, we will, I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to tap on a few different points in the body. So the karate chop point is the side of the hand. So if I say to tap there, that's the side of the hand. If I say eyebrow, it's just here, side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, collarbone, under the arm, just at the bra line for the ladies, and top of the head. Those are the points that we're going to be tapping through. Just really gently, I usually use 2 fingers and just gently tap as we move through these meridian points. It helps to calm and soothe the amygdala of the brain, which is the fight, flight, or freeze part of the brain, that subconscious part of us that gets triggered when we are having an emotional response to something. So let's tap. So tapping on the karate chop point, hopefully you've got your number and you've written that down so you know where your starting point is, so you can see whether you've shifted or not, because that's important. We need to know whether this actually works. So repeating after me, tapping on the karate chop point. You can close your eyes if you want to and just say it out loud. Even though I refuse to forgive them because of what they did to me, I deeply love and accept myself. Or you can simply say, I'm okay, if love and accepting yourself is too much right now. Okay? Or you can say, I am willing to love and accept myself. Whatever works for you. Even though I refuse to forgive them because of what they did to me, I'm willing to deeply love and accept myself. And remember to breathe. Even though I refuse to forgive them because of what they did to me, I'm willing to deeply love and accept myself. And then moving to the eyebrow point, tapping on the eyebrow point and repeating after me. I can't believe they did that. Side of the eye. I'm so angry. Under the eye. It's not right. Under the nose. It's not fair. Under the mouth. And I refuse to let it go. Collarbone. All this anger. Under the arm. All this feeling that I have. And state out loud what the feeling is. Is it a feeling in your belly? Is it a tightness in your chest? Is it a throat constriction? Do you have throat sort of tightness? Top of the head, in every cell of my body. Eyebrow. I just can't let this go. Side of the eye, because they don't deserve it. Under the eye. They don't deserve my forgiveness. Under the nose, and I refuse to let go. Under the mouth, so much anger. Collarbone, about what happened. Under the arm, about what they did. Top of the head, about what they said. Keep tapping and thinking about that situation, thinking about that person. Just tapping through the points and feeling the emotions that are coming up. Allowing yourself and honouring yourself as you tap to feel the emotions, the truth of this situation, the facts of this situation. The fact that you don't want to let it go. The fact of what they did. The fact of the situation. How they acted. How they made you feel. What emotions are coming up for you at the moment. And what we want to do is lessen the intensity of the emotion as we tap. And you'll feel that happening without you having to do anything. That emotion will be starting to lessen. And you might need to spend a little bit of time tapping and thinking about this. Perhaps watching this video again. Or you can go through and say the same statements that we've just said. We tap on the negative first in order to clear this resistance. Not to affirm, we're not affirming, but we're opening the door for the positive statements. So you can simply tap through the points like I'm doing now. And as you think specifically about what they did, what they said, and what happened, see the movie in detail. Just keep tapping through the points. Identify other parts of the movie. Keep going. You want to be able to think about the event or the person without the heavy resistance coming up. So as you're tapping, just check in with your body and how you're feeling. I'm just going to do one more round of the negative and then we'll move on to the positive, just to be sure. Repeating after me. I can't believe they did that. Side of the eye, I'm so angry. It's not right. Under the nose, it's not fair. Under the mouth, but maybe I can let this go. Collarbone, let go of the anger. Under the arm, let go of the feelings in my body. Top of the head, let go of the sensation in every cell of my body. Eyebrow, I just can't let this go. Side of the eye, because maybe they don't deserve that. Under the eye, maybe they do deserve my forgiveness. Under the nose, am I still refusing to let this go? Under the mouth, am I still angry? Collarbone, about what happened. Under the arm, about what they did. And top of the head, about what they said. Eyebrow, maybe it's time to let it go. Side of the eye, I wonder if I can actually let this go. Under the eye, what if I can let part of this go? Under the nose, releasing this anger. Under the mouth, from every cell in my body. Collarbone, letting it go. Under the arm, letting it all go. Top of the head, right now. Let's do that one more time and really sink into it. Eyebrow, maybe it's time to let this go. Side of the eye, I wonder if I can actually let this go. Under the eye, what if I let part of it go? Under the nose, releasing this anger. Under the mouth, from every cell in my body. Collarbone, letting it go. Under the arm, letting it all go. Top of the head, right now. Now I'd like you to keep tapping as I'm talking, just so that you can hear what I'm talking about and be in that open, relaxed state. As you tap through that couple of rounds of positive statements, feel free to add your own words, your own affirmations. You know, these are just guidelines for you to start. What's most important is that you feel the feeling, get specific about what you experienced, and tap until it's released. When you're done with the tapping, then you can take a deep breath. Let your hand relax. And if you want to put your hand on your heart, think of what happened again and notice how it's changed. make note of your new number of intensity. Either way, stop tapping if you're in a good place, or keep tapping until it's below 5, 4, 3 on the scale. I would love to hear your feedback, of course, on this. When you feel ready, you can share. You can share your number at the beginning and your number at the end if you want to. Or you can send me a private message if you want to do it privately, that's okay. One of the things that I find with the tapping is that I like to encourage my clients to tap while they're doing their coaching with me, while they're telling their story. You know the story that you tell, the one that you tell over and over and over again, the one that you've gotten into the groove of telling so well that you're like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then he did this, and then he said that, and then I felt this, and then I felt that. And you get the response from the people around you, and you get in your groove. That's the story that you probably need to be tapping on. That's the story that needs to shift so that you can have peace. That's the story that might be giving you some drama, might be serving you, might be giving you some energy, might be giving you a little bit of confirmation that you were right and they were wrong. But it's not actually giving you peace. You're not feeling peaceful when you're telling that dramatic story. You're feeling lots of other emotions, whatever those emotions are. So I encourage you, if you feel like you're starting to tell that story, whether it's to a person on the phone or whether it's a thought process in your head, then tap on that and see what happens. While you're thinking that thing, while you're talking to that friend on the phone, if you realize that you're starting to get into the groove, it's so interesting how it will shift and move as you are talking about the thing. I've done it when I've been feeling very sad or very angry, or if I've been really highly charged for some reason, I'll actually start to talk to myself about the situation. And sometimes I look in the mirror and do it that way, because if you can talk to someone and see the shift in your space, in yourself, in your body, and feel the shift in your belly, with it not tightening as tight anymore, you can actually start to see how the tapping works so effectively. So that's what it's all about. It's about lightening the load. And that's lovely, Michelle, you saying that, that it's lightened the load. You might like to tap around the whole situation with COVID. You might like to tap around your business and the worries that you have in your business. You might like to tap about your relationship. The point is that it doesn't matter what you're tapping about. It's about soothing and easing and lightening your energy and your space so that you can come to a place of peace and calm. And it's okay if you get emotional, if you feel like you need to cry. I have tapped and cried and allowed myself to feel the feelings, because so often the reason why we're feeling so much pain, so much physical pain, so much emotional pain, is because we're not letting ourselves feel the real feelings. We're not actually acknowledging and honouring ourselves, let alone somebody else acknowledging and honouring us. If we're not letting ourselves cry or be angry or feel guilty or be upset about something, if we're not allowed to be frustrated, if we're not even letting ourselves do it, then how can anyone even know, for a start? Like, if you're not even expressing it to yourself and you're not expressing it to them, how can they know? that to support you or to hug you or to give you whatever it is that you need. And you may not know what you need in that moment, but this process is something that can really help you to move through it. Good question, Jody. How long do you sit in it? I think this is the key, is that, if you sit in it and you don't do the tapping, it will consume you. I think that's the key. If, on the other hand, you tap and you speak the truth, it won't consume you, because the tapping helps to rebalance and align you and get you into that state of calm so that you can be with that situation, you can talk about that situation, you can think about that situation without feeling the intense emotions, because you're calming the parasympathetic nervous system. Yes, even if you don't believe the truth at that time. And when that's really important, because the situation is the situation. How can I explain this? If you had an incident with somebody and you're now feeling like you're ashamed, or you're feeling guilty, or you're feeling angry, or you're feeling something that is an emotion, an intense emotion, if you go back to the facts of what actually happened in that moment, then the emotional part gets soothed by the tapping, and the facts can stand on their own, and you can then think more clearly and from a space of alignment to make the steps forward that you might need to make, whatever that might be for you. So there has been occasions where, what's a good example? So at one time I was having an argument with my sister, and I was really emotional, and I wanted to understand something that she was doing, but she wasn't giving me any information. She wasn't talking to me. So I couldn't work out what was going on because she wasn't speaking to me. So I was sort of making stuff up in my head, and I was getting more and more upset and more worried that I was the reason why she wasn't talking. So she just sort of moved herself away and was not speaking, but it was actually what was going on for her. So when I did finally address the situation with her, she was like, it's not anything to do with you. It was me processing the world, and I needed some time out, and talking to you was not going to help me. I needed this time out, and you need to understand that it's not you, it's me. So what I did when I was for the tapping bit was, because I was upset by that. I thought that I wanted her to tell me what was going on, but she couldn't express it yet. She wasn't able to express it. She was in that space of processing. And so it was not helping for me to go, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? Because she was getting activated by that. You know, she was getting even more and more withdrawn by me jumping in. So what I needed to do was I went into the bathroom and I started tapping and saying, why doesn't she just talk to me? I don't understand. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. When you talk, it's really good. And, you know, when I talk, it works really well. And this is, you know, doesn't make sense that she's not talking to me. Why would she go off into her room for like 3 days? How can you not talk to someone for 3 days? That's ridiculous. Like, this is crazy. I don't understand what's happening. And then I was crying because I was like, I'm so angry. I'm so frustrated. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand, right? And as I was tapping, I started to feel calmer. My body started to calm down, and I started to go, okay, so she feels she needs time. And she's told me that she needs to have this time out. And it's not about me. It's about her taking this time out, and what can I do for her to allow her this space? What can I do for me to allow myself this space? How can I take care of me instead of worrying about what she's doing? because this is not about her. This is about me. This is about me thinking that everyone's talking about me. It's like, just because somebody's not talking doesn't mean it's about you. You know, people are mostly focused on themselves. You are. I am. So this is really cool because I think this will help a lot with understanding, you know. So this is really cool, Jody, that you had the similar incident come up, because we just need to be reminded sometimes that we have these tools that we can use, that going and actually stepping away from the situation and going, I think I need to tap through this and actually speak out, because the truth of the matter was, in that situation, was that she needed time out and I was pushing my agenda, because it helps me to talk things out, but it doesn't help her to talk things out. She needs to go to her room and be quiet, or go home, or whatever it is that she needs to. Go to your shed, whoever it is that you're thinking of at the moment. If it's your husband, your partner, your wife, your parents, whatever, there is sometimes the person needs space, and it's not about you, but you need to soothe yourself so that you can have peace with that, so that they can do their processing and you can do your processing in your perfect way. And look, in the end, I came to a space of, maybe I need to talk to somebody else. While she's in processing phase, I need to go and talk to someone else about my stuff, because I was trying to talk about my stuff with her and she was in her room. So sometimes we need to go to somebody else to get our needs met. And I don't mean you need to leave your relationship or, separate or divorce or anything like that necessarily. That's a whole different conversation. What I mean is that you take the facts of the situation and you tap, allowing the emotions to settle, and then you can think about and take action from a calm and peaceful space. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I'd love to help you through this. If you feel like you need someone to give you some words, to start a script, to help you reframe, to be the person on the other end of the phone as you talk this through, because sometimes we need a support person. Sometimes we need a coach. Sometimes we need somebody who is objective, who can stand with you and help you to let go of the stuff that's blocking you. I know I have a couple of coaches and friends who are wonderful people to hold space for me when I need someone to just stand there and go, tell me what's going on. And then I can actually share my truth without any judgment. Because that's important too, it's important to have people that you can speak to that are not going to make it worse. We have our friends, those friends who, when you tell them your drama, they get even more fired up and then the drama gets bigger. Those people. Those are not helpful people. Those people are just reinforcing the problem rather than helping you with the solution. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Let go and forgive. What a perfect day to do it. It's a full moon, the 21st of October, 2021. If you would like to do your tapping tonight, listen to this video or talk to the full moon. Go out there and talk to the full moon and go, I am so over this, blah, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep. Just go for it. The more that you can be authentic with this, the better that it works. If you're swearing and bleeping and blinding and crying and all that stuff, do it, because that is really, really going to shift you. And that's awesome. So, yeah, Jody, those dramatic, you know, the people who have those dramatic stories, you know what I'm talking about. So, let me know how you go. Please do send me a message. Send me a private message if you don't want to share it on the public space, if you want. And please reach out if you need someone to help you work through these processes so that you're not doing it alone if you feel like it's too intense to do on your own. And by the way, don't pick something that's like, you know, the biggest trauma in your life to start with, okay? Let's be gentle with ourselves, all right? Pick something that's just like, you know, the person who cut you off in traffic, or, you know, the person who got the last muffin at the cafe or something, and do that first. Practice with something small first, and then notice the shifts, and then step into those bigger things that might need to be forgiven, all right? Lovely to talk to you. I will see you next week, and obviously reach out, take care of yourself, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Bye for now, everyone. See ya.